My name is Shea Gallagher, and I'm Dylan's sister.
Do you remember, was there ever a moment when you were growing up where you sort of realized what a heart condition meant?
I think like the moment where it kind of became real was when my mom told me that he was having a second surgery. I thought it was going to be the same as like the past, like, other years. And my mom was like, I don't even know how she said it, but she told me like what was happening and what was going to happen. And this is going to happen this summer. I mean, I was just like surprised because that's not what I was expecting. I was just expecting like, oh, it was great, and then that was it. So then when I heard that, I was a little like confused because I didn't really know really what that meant. But the week before it's when like my grandparents flew into town to stay here with me at my house, and then everyone's asking about him, like what's happening, and I didn't even really know what was happening either. I kind of was in the dark about a lot of things. I didn't realize like how weird it was gonna be, like staying in my house and my whole family was gone, and like after his surgeries he had a few procedures and stuff, and that was like hard too, just like realizing that it didn't fully go back to normal. We were still dealing with all that stuff for a few years after the second surgery.
Yeah. My brother says there is a shift in the air for the sibling who has to stay home
Yeah.
because they're in the house and no one else is.
Yeah.
And you're 10 years old having to hold down the fort, and you might have aunts, uncles, or grandparents there, but
I think that might have been like the worst part, like living in my house with like no one there, like, or my grandparents, but it's like not my family. And like I slept in my brother's bed the whole time he was gone, and like I don't know, I just remember like little things, like we would do a lot of things together because we were so close in age, and like I remember doing little things like watching TV and stuff, and I'd like look over and he wasn't sitting there, and I was like, oh gosh, like just dinners without my family, and it was just like it was really lonely and like isolated, I think.
yeah.
Your parents are gone, your brother's gone. Like I didn't have any other siblings either, so it was just me, and I wanted so badly to like be there up with them and like be there. I really did want to be there, and like no one would let me. I still don't really know why. I mean, probably because I was young, but I just wanted to be up there. And I remember when my grandparents, like, it got out to me that they went up and visited during the day when I was like gone doing my like summer camp for junior lifeguards. I was so mad. Don't really know if I like could control all my feelings, and like mad and sad, like why wouldn't you take me? I would have missed like this stuff. I just wanted to go up and see my brother, and I was still so young where everyone's trying to figure out what's best for me. Like they're not asking me what's going to be the best for you, because I was still like not really.
You were 10.
I was 10, so they thought, this is going to be the best. Like, you're going to stay in your house alone. You're not going to go up and visit your, because, you're helpless as a sibling. You can't go up and see them. You just have to sit there and wait, pretty much. When I finally got to see him, everyone said, like, he lit up, too. Like, I lit up. We just, like, were so happy, like, to see each other. I think the emotions, you're just confused, and you're not even stressed, you're just confused because you can't even be stressed, you can't do anything. You're mad that you can't control it too. Like I couldn't do anything. I just had to sit home and like wait. I mean, you're just constantly, like it wasn't, in the moment I wasn't thinking at all about myself. I was just thinking about like what's happening, like him, how's he doing, when can I go see him? And yeah, I think that's like really hard to be away from your family, especially when they're like all dealing with that, and you are too, but like no one's really like cares about, well, no one's really checking up on you. It's so hard, just everyone being like their attention fully being like on someone like your sibling, and like you are too, but I like don't even know what I would have said if someone was like, how are you doing, because it's so hard for everybody surrounding them, you know? And because no one can do anything, you know? You don't know how someone else is doing if you're not there, or you're like, it's so hard to watch and not be able to do anything.
Were you okay?
No. It was just like really hard, especially like I feel like that age you're just like you're so young but you still understand like certain aspects of what's happening, and like it's just hard to, you know, like check on everybody else while someone's, you know, literally had their heart operated on like a few days ago. So I don't even think it crossed my mind to like ask myself if I was okay. I was just, you know, just constantly just like, you know, making sure everybody else was.
If you were to go back to it, would you make sure that you had someone to check in on you?
Yeah, I think like staying with my friend would have helped. And when my brother had his procedure, I don't have, like, my family doesn't live close, so like they were my family. Like I call her my heart sister, and we like, so I stayed at their house while everything was happening, and like I remember like I just remember crying in my friend's mom's like arms, like, because it was so scary. Having a friend who was my age who like has been through the same thing, like that was really amazing to have, and you know, to like help get my mind off stuff. And like, I mean, I was still going to school and stuff, but just like, you know, I think that made it better like the second time around, even though that was like really, really hard and scary because it wasn't planned, you know. I was at school, and then as soon as I got out of school, you know, I'm getting told he's in the hospital, like I'm not staying at home, I'm going over here, my mom's dropping off a bag to my friend's house. Like it was just, you know, that was really scary because I didn't know what was happening. I don't know, it was like that was a crazy year, like the summer going into fifth grade. That's when it really became like real, and I was going through it like every single day. Like it was always on my mind, you know. Is he okay? What's happening? You know, how is he doing? How did the procedure go? It was like a fifth grade narrative assignment, and like that just happened to me, so I was like, oh, this is a perfect thing to write about. I think it was good to like write out what I was feeling and stuff. It felt really good to like write it out, and once people like read it, like I think maybe people started to like understand like, wow, like this is, you know, something that other people go through too. It's not like, you know, while you're in it, I just tried to push through as much as I could and like tried not to like think about it. And like being home and stuff, it was like constant reminder of like how different everything was. And, you know, writing out your feelings and journaling is really great, because even if you don't think you need it, like if you just start writing, like you'll, you know, start writing your feelings out and you'll feel so much better. Also, like getting your mind off of it, like I wouldn't recommend staying at your house alone. Like I'd recommend, you know, going somewhere else, getting your mind off of it, like changing your scenery.
What are ways you would recommend parents look out for siblings during the whole process?
I think the parents should definitely like talk to the siblings and not try to dictate what they're doing, because that's like really hard, especially when you're out of control and everything and everybody's telling you what's happening, and then all at the same time they're telling you, you know, you're going here, you're doing this, you can't visit. I think it's really important to be like, okay, do you have anybody you want to stay with during this time? Do you want to stay here in the house? Do you want to go somewhere else? Like, what do you want to do? Like, we're going to be gone. Do you want to do anything? Like, you know, what should we do after everything happens? You know, you're going through it just as much as everybody else, but it's more, people like see it as you're more just like watching someone else and not like experiencing it like as well. So that's really hard too, because usually if you go through something traumatic, or, you know, everyone's there for you, and so the fact that everyone's more attention's completely on someone else, like 100%, that's like really, really hard to go through. I think just try to make it as like equal as possible, because I like, even though this isn't true, like I felt like my brother was the favorite child for like years and years, you know? I think like that's just really hard to like understand and like deal with too as a sibling. So
What advice do you have for other siblings who are struggling, feeling seen, and who don't know how to make sense of their emotions?
I think the biggest thing is like you're not alone, you know? Like you might feel really isolated and like you're alone, but you're not alone. And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be mad about what's happening. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be anxious. Like, it's okay, you know, it's normal.